All right, here we go. It's still No Shave November, so how we doing? Hey. Now, look, today is not Tuesday, so if you're writing the warm-up on the second one, you should have put no school, because yesterday, no school, right? So you're going to have your next quiz on Friday, but not this Friday. Next Friday, okay? The one thing we talked about on Monday that's very important, is everyone looking? Okay. Order matters when we're doing congruent stuff, okay? So whenever you have a statement, the first one matches with the first one, second with the second, third with the third. That stuff's very important. So now, these are easy. Let's go over them. Number one, it's asking us what is angle G congruent to. Now look at the statement. You don't even need these pictures. On the statement, it says triangle G, that's the first letter. Go to the other one. Triangle what? S. First letter has to match with the first letter because order matters. So I already know the answer is S. But even if I look at the picture, G is one arc, S is one arc. Makes sense, right? So number one, angle S, too easy. All right. Then, number two. Now notice, number two is asking you to make a whole statement for the whole triangle about why they are congruent, or how were they congruent? How do you state that these are congruent triangles? So when you're doing this, I'm going to look at this left triangle, and I like to go one arc, two arc, three arc. So does everyone see the first arc? One arc is J, two arc is K, three arc is L. I'm going to call that triangle JKL. So this left triangle is congruent, so go ahead and draw the congruent symbol. Hey. It's an equals with the squiggly on top. Now, here's the deal. It's not always just like shifted over. So on your assignment today, sometimes it gets flipped, sometimes it gets rotated. You got to think about what's happened to it. But on this one, let's say we don't know. I don't know if it's been flipped or rotated or shifted or what. We'll look for the arcs. If JKL is one arc, two arc, three arc, go to the other triangle. What's one arc, two arc, three arc? So over here, what's the one arc? L, S, T. Do you see how the order matters? You're matching things up. So triangle LST. Now, that's it for the warm-up. Today we don't have notes because that's the notes. Right here, look, order matters. There's an example of it. So on the assignment, which is going in the grade book, okay, there's four of them like the first one, there's four of them like the second one. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. On the back, you have more practice, but this is a little bit more complicated because some of them have been rotated, some of them have been flipped over. You got to think about it for a second. Now, the last problem is where people get confused. So let me pass this out so I can explain it. Stay with me. La La Land and still under that. Now look, everybody, look at your assignment on the back, number 13. Okay, now I want you to see this. Look, number 13, is everyone actually looking with your eyes? Look over here, look. On number 13, it says find the missing side lengths and the angle measures. I know the whole assignment, you're like finding letters, vertices, whatever, okay? But I want you to know that the word length and measure has to do with numbers, like the actual number value, okay? So why don't you write that down? For number 13, you have to give me number answers. If you start putting letters, you ain't doing it right, okay? Here's what I mean. Do you see how there's labeled numbers on this thing? Well, it matches over here, and you got to label it over here. The angles, they match, you label it over here, right? If you have a missing angle, do you know how to find that missing angle if they add up to 180? I hope so by now. But for example, number 1, it says measure of angle H. So I see H is the first letter. You might be tempted to just put a C here. I don't care about C. I want the number value. So what is the number value? Right next to it. 60. Okay, do you see what I'm talking about? Does everyone understand? Okay, so again, on these, you give me the numbers, not the letters. Every year, people do this wrong, and it makes me go, cuckoo. All right, so please, just numbers on number 13 down here. Okay, let y'all work on that. Let me know if you got questions. And you saw your grade, right? If your test grade was low, or you still have a low quiz grade, you're going to be doing corrections first, and I'll talk to you about that. Okay, let's get started.